Yes, the Boohoo Effect here. I'm going to post up a video briefly directed to Urban Disciples. Urban Disciples, I understand you did a live stream and I kind of went over your channel and skimmed through it, and you're basically upset. You are completely upset and unhinged about my commentary. Now, it took you, what, almost 2 hours to get through just a few minutes of my commentary? I mean, you got a huge problem of staying focused, I noticed. You tend to veer off. It reminds me of somebody else like Tracy. I don't know if you're ADD. I don't know what it is. You got a lot of time on your hands, obviously. But, you could have finished that up in 10 minutes at best. I mean, come on. You know, you seem to got a lot of time on your hands. And, I've mentioned this in times past about people that, come at myself as if they are the prime example of being a man. They are setting the example of manhood. And I have a problem with that because a lot of people like you, I mean, you're acting just like James D. This is a playbook right out of James D's act that he used to perform when he'd get drunk and call out people and demand that people come on his time. I mean, you got a lot of time on your hands, Urban Disciples, and I got a problem with people not being gainfully employed. I know you're not working. I mean, you do this YouTube thing for almost like a living without the pay, right? But, a true person that is a man, they would be gainfully employed. They would be paying their own way, paying their own bills, and not sponging, freeloading off of somebody else. Okay, that's what really a man is. A man is not getting online and spending exorbitant amounts of hours on lives. I mean, that live of yours, you were basically throwing a tantrum. You were like a child, Urban Disciples. You're upset. You're offset, off put, whatever you want to call it. And you are acting like a weak little girl. You were. No pun intended there. You were hurt, Urban Disciples. You were completely overwhelmed, how it appeared to me, because I'm telling the truth. I know you know certain things about what's right and what's wrong in this area, and that's why you acted the way you did. You're basically at a loss for words, reasonable explanation. Okay? Now, you touched on, you seem to have focused on that word area. Now, I don't know if you don't know the definition of an area. I was simply referencing a subject matter, all right, a specific activity. But you focused on that. You didn't like it that I didn't say atmosphere. You stated that you would treat somebody, even in a sexual atmosphere, as an adult. Now, that sounds really bad, Urban Disciples. You needed to explain more in that area. Now, I'm only merely aligning this with other past activities regarding you attacking children. And you have been attacking children. Now, you said that you treat him as an adult in a sexual atmosphere. Are you in that atmosphere? That's all I was wanting to know. Atmosphere. Maybe I should have focused on the word atmosphere. Were you in that atmosphere? You're going to treat him a certain way, being in that atmosphere with that child? Treat him as an adult? You got to explain yourself a little bit better, Urban Disciples, especially when it, has to do with children. Okay? Now, you have established a history of exploiting children. You have. Posting up their images like James D. Yes, you posted up his daughter's image, live footage, recording of his daughter. And you were coming off like you didn't understand why his daughter was sticking out her tongue. That seemed to have intrigued you, enlightened you. A grown, strange man online. But you're blaming the parent here, right? You're accusing James D of using his own daughter as bait. Now, what kind of a mindset comes up with that? Where is your mind at, urban disciples? This only makes me more suspicious of your thinking in this area, okay? In this specific subject matter. You also blame the parent, one of the Seder twins, of him posting up a picture of his son in a bathtub. And you went in that same, pedo-like mindset. You blame the parent that they're using their child as bait. Again, you went in this sexually sadistic, pedo-like area. Now, why is your mind, continually going into these places? That's disturbing, urban disciples. I'm not even trying to pick on you. You resorted to ad hominem attacks, and I understand why, because you're hurt. The truth hurts. You're upset, and you're trying to, avenge your pride online. I get it. But you need to keep your mouth in check. And the more you speak, the more you give yourself up, and you don't even know it. Why is your mind going to these places? It's intent. Posting his children up is different from an innocent parent posting their children up, just simply sharing their day-to-day activities with their children. But your intent was different. It was in a sick manner. You can't blame the parent for posting their children up, accusing them of using them for bait before pedos, to use them as a means to bust out pedos. You went there, then you took your own bait then. Your own mindset, intent, you're guilty of, urban disciples. You took the bait then. You can't blame that on the parents. You see, people nowadays, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but they post up family activities, and it was innocent. But your posting up them children was not innocent, because you did it in a malicious way. Your intent was bad, your intentions. And you went in areas that was in a sexual mindset. Okay? You need to get a hold of yourself, buddy. You completely had a meltdown. It was a form of a meltdown, in my opinion. You just weren't screaming and yelling around, but it drug out. It took you what? Almost 2 hours to go through a 10-minute commentary. Now, I simply responded to Agent 19's live, and the subject matter had to do with you. I responded to it, and you didn't like it. Well, I'm sorry, urban disciples, but if you post something publicly, especially the kind of activities that you're engaged in, you're going to get a response, a possible response. Okay? Now, you're emulating James D. playbook. Ironically, James D. had pulled this on you. Show your face, show your face. I don't show my face because I'm protecting my identity. If you want to know what I look like, come find me, boy. I have a right to protect my privacy before the most creepiest career stalkers around these parts that has no problems, no bones about stalking children. And if you want to talk to me, if it makes you feel like a man, and really you should, just go out and get a job. That's what a real man does. He's self-sustaining. But if it makes you feel better, I'll talk with you. Now, I don't press live stream links. I have my reasoning. But if you want to talk to me, give me your Skype handle. Now, you'll probably say you don't have a Skype handle. Look, I'm sure you have an email address. It takes just a few minutes to open out an account on Skype, okay? It's simple. You can do it in no time, all right? And whatever, if you want to discuss it before an audience, I have no problems with that. The invention of the telephone was created long ago, okay? I don't see what the big deal is talking to somebody live. I have no problems with it. People have been talking on the telephone for many years, urban disciples, okay? And connect with me on Skype, and we can come up with a time. This Thursday would be good for me, late Thursday night. I'm not sure what's good for you, but it certainly appears that you got all the time in the world, okay? But that's all I'm going to touch on regarding this subject matter, these issues that you're creating. Look, you're upset, Urban Disciples, and it's your own doing, okay? You need to watch what you say. You need to watch what you try to justify, because what you said throughout that live, woven into your gibberish, you tend to do a lot of jibber jabber, okay? Just gabbing about nothing. But, you could have just wrapped it up in 10 minutes. But, it's up to you, okay? But, no matter how much you whine about it on your live streams, it can never take away your actions. Because I've often stated that a person's history is what speaks the truth, not the perpetrator himself. We'll see you in the next one.